I begrudgingly follow Emmeline toward the entrance, and there I see the delivery carriage. A familiar person stands beside it. Viorica! Emmeline pulls Viorica into a tight hug. I turn my attention away to glare at the number of boxes at the back of the carriage. What's inside the box? I will no doubt have to help carry them inside. All the preparations for the ball coming. Emmeline's smile seems forced at first, but then eases into something softer. It's going well, I suppose. How about the wedding? Oh, Desimone and I have finalized the date. It'll be 2 days after your ball. I can't wait to see you in your wedding dress. These two always talk so much when they get together. How annoying, these two best friends keep talking to each other. Yeah. I ignore their chatter as I walk to the carriage to observe the boxes piled inside. What's in the boxes? Oh. Viorica reaches out to grab one. She hands it to me. I'm helping with the ball decorations. I came by with part of the order today. Part of it? Oh, careful, it's a bit heavy. I take the box from her hands and nearly stumble. This is heavy, as he says. And I should have had the mail service do this. Queen Ophelia placed quite a large order. I brought the more fragile decorations first. Oh, the glass baubles and vases. I grit my teeth as I shift the box in my arms in an attempt to make it easier to hold. I thought you worked at a toy shop. Yes, but we also have aisles dedicated specifically to party decorations. What kind of a toy shop is that? Lucette, will you be alright? I feel annoyance simmer within me. I'm obviously not alright. Emmeline reaches out to help me with the box, but she's too late. I've only taken one step forward when the boxes slide, and I stumble. I manage to cradle it in my arms, but its weight is too much for me. Before I hit the ground, I feel strong arms around my waist, pulling me back upright. The box is taken from me. Okay. Fallen into Prince Charming, I guess. I guess he's not really our prince. My heart and mind are racing, and for a moment I cannot comprehend what just happened. Are you alright, Rod? I glance to the side and I'm shocked to see Rod standing there. The expression on his face gives nothing away, but for a close distance I can see some flicker of emotion in his bright eyes. Concern. Lucette, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Rod pushes me and I stumble forward. Almost tripping on the ground, he raises an eyebrow at me. Sweet home Alabama? I guess, yeah, we are again, it's fine because we're step siblings, you know? Even though we're stepbrother, stepsister, we're not related by blood, so it's totally a-okay, just like in all the animes. They always just make it okay because we're conveniently step siblings. Know your limits, Lucette. I glare at him as anger begins to bubble up my chest. Tell him off or stay silent, I don't know. I wonder if there's like bad ends in this game. I feel like the bad thing to do would be just to get angry at him, even though he just did us a favor. Sure, let's do that, huh? Pushing people like that is not something a good prince would do. I do not bother to hide the anger in my voice. It was a nudge. Still, that was very cruel of you, Your Highness. Anger flares up in Rod's eyes as he takes a step toward me. Oh, look who's talking. Rod, stop that. Rod turns away from Emmeline, ignoring her. Viorica, what are you doing here? Rod's voice is still cold. Viorica looks startled by his tone. I only came here to deliver some of the decorations for the ball. And you thought Emmeline and her maid could carry these things on her own. Be open and honest? I don't know. I like the, I don't know, when I play visual novels, I do want to find like some bad ends. I think there's some bad ends, so I just wonder what happens. Do we just now break the curse, or... Oh, anyway, let's see. Rod, this is not her fault. I'm the one who chose to bring Lucette with me. I underestimate the size of the delivery. Viorica was just delivering the supplies. At least she admits her mistakes. I never thought Rod would be so stubborn. Emmeline's expression softens as she looks at her brother. She looks sad. Rod ignores her and picks up the box that I've been carrying. He begins to walk away before he suddenly stops and glances back at me. Come on. Rod? We're going to call some servants to carry these boxes in. He turns around and begins to walk away. I am Emmeline's personal maid, not his. I glance at Emmeline, who nods her head. I really am so sorry. Thank you for helping my brother, Lucette. I curtsy ever so slightly before running after Rod. Rod, wait! He picks up his pace as he's trying to lose me. I turn the corner and barely stop myself before running right into Rod's back. What now? Why are you so angry mid today? I've barely even spoken to you. Your mere presence is enough to darken my mood. I glare at him and cross my arms. Honey, you call me cruel, but right now you're worse than I ever was. I don't need someone who hasn't even managed a single good deed to lecture me. I have to try very hard to resist the urge to slap him. You were supposed to help me get a good deed. As I said before, I never agreed to this. I still refuse to help you. Rod starts walking again, and I hurry after him. I cannot help but recall how cold he was with Viorica earlier. I thought they were friends, but he treated her like this at the toy shop too. Why are you so angry with Viorica earlier? No reason. I raise an eyebrow when Rod quickly answers the question. And you were cold for no reason, with such a princely disposition. Rod frowns, but he has no rebuttal for my words. You must be generally cold and unfriendly. Excuse me? I will explain why you treated Viorica as you did. I thought that you two were childhood friends. Viorica was always closer with Emmeline than with me. We may have been friendly once, but we've since become distant. Distant. It's none of your business. It's totally not an unrequited love, you know? A love triangle, maybe, I don't know. I pause as we pass by my door, remembering that I left both the fabrics and Delora inside. I make my way toward the door and open it. What are you doing? None of your business, echoing his words. Enjoyed your field trip? I frown when I see her sitting on my bed in human form. What would you have done if it wasn't me? Us the witches have a sense for these things. Delora. Rod slowly enters the room. It's nice to see you, like it, Delora. Yeah, Sebby, Sebastian. Nice to see you too, little Sebby. Why are you here? Delora shrugs as she inspects her nails. I thought I would help the princess here since someone doesn't seem very willing. Rod furrows his eyebrows at her. I didn't. Yes, I know, you didn't sign up for this. But do you really think you have a choice, Rod? Delora looks at Rod pointedly. You know the consequences if this fails. Rod looks away, expression conflicted. Consequences? What are you talking about? Consequences for not helping me with my curse? Rod sighs heavily before turning back to Delora. He does not pay attention to me. I'm not the right person for this. Doesn't matter what you think. The princess thought you were, so you suck it up and do your job. We picked you and you liked the route, so... It's too late. The player already picked you. We wanna know your story now. Rod is silent for a few moments before he finally faces me, looking resigned. I will help you then, but don't expect me to change my opinions of you. I shrug at him. Not like I was expecting you to in the first place. Laura grins with a clear triumph. Good talk. Rod sighs. In order to achieve your good deeds, you're gonna need to mend what you broke before. Yeah, so many... All the other choices were like... Everyone else was willing to help, but except Rod. Rod just hates us. But that's why it's the most interesting option, I think, maybe. I feel I already know what he's gonna say. My sister has always wanted to be your friend, so you must do just that. Show her kindness, and you may be able to get your first good deed through her. Show her kindness, huh? Just get along with my sister. That's easy, right? Delora decides to stay in my room for the time being, saying that she believes Rod will be able to help me for now. Later, I make my way to the dining room with the fabrics and see Emmeline and Ophelia inside. They're set. I see you have the fabric, thank you. Ophelia takes the topmost sample of the fabric and begins to inspect it as Emmeline walks up to me. Where's Rod? He returned to his studies. Oh, right, he has history lessons today. I'm yet to finish my history homework, which is due tomorrow. As Emmeline muses aloud, I ponder what Rod told me earlier. I must become Emmeline's friend. Is that really a good deed? You become friend now! I hope Rod didn't send the servants out before he went back to his room. I wanted to tell him that Viorica and I had already called on guards to bring the boxes inside. Or maybe he decided to start his lessons earlier so that he could make your dance lesson this evening. Dance lesson? Our father wanted to hire the best dance instructor in Angel, but I honestly feel more comfortable with Rod teaching me. He's a good dancer, so father has allowed it. Well, that's a surprise. I did not know Rod could dance. He used to prefer singing, but then... Singing? Oh yeah, well he can't sing. I mean, he can sing through the Sebastian, but I guess maybe it's not the same thing. Ophelia trails off. I know that she's talking about the fairytale curse, but I do not expect her to divulge such information to a maid like myself. He's decided to focus on his dancing for the past few months. Ophelia glances down at the fabrics, then looks up and smiles at me. Lucette, would you mind helping me with this? I obediently walk over to the fabrics Ophelia wants me to look through. They are apparently samples of the tablecloth that we used during the ball. This is gonna be a long day. Rod comes immediately to the throne room after his history lessons to start his dance lessons with Emmeline. I'm only standing here because it is my responsibility as her personal maid to watch over her as she practices. I watch as she steps out of rhythm and Rod sighs at her. You're doing it wrong. And that's the 10th time. Sorry. Again. They start from the beginning and I'm unable to stifle my own sigh when Emmeline messes up the same step again. But this would make the 11th time. I really am terrible at this. Would you rather have the royal dance instructor teach you? He has more experience teaching than I do. Oh no, I really do want you to teach me, Rod. I'm sorry that I'm such a slow learner. You are always good at everything. Singing, dancing, cooking. Prince Rod cooks. Yes, Rod does cook. He's very good at it. You didn't have to tell her that, Does it really matter? I love bragging about how talented my little brother is. I see a tinge of pink in Rod's cheek as he turns away. Is he embarrassed? Emmeline looks down at the floor, her smile smaller. I wish I was talented as you, Rod. I'd always thought Emmeline was overly optimistic. She always seemed to bounce back with a smile, no matter how many times I pushed her away. Now I cannot help but reconsider that thought. Still, seeing her like this only irritates me. Pitying yourself would get you nowhere. Not everyone can be perfect at everything when they first start out. I remember when Mother gave me similar lessons. She was always such a harsh teacher, and she hated when I showed weakness in front of her. She made me keep practicing until I perfected whatever it was she wanted me to do. Failure was never an option. I never had time for self-pity. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, just try harder. Let failure inspire you to do better. Lucette, that was... He's right, Rod. Instead of complaining, I should be working harder. I let out an exasperated sigh and crossed my arms. Well, you always look at your feet whenever you reach the underarm turn. Instead, focus on counting your steps and let Prince Rod lead you. Worrying too much on your next step is what puts you off rhythm. Emmeline stares at me. Oh, can you dance, Lucette? I can. Why? Wow, that's amazing! There's nothing amazing about my being able to dance. I mean, technically, as a princess maybe, but as a maid, that's pretty surprising. You know, commoners don't get these lessons in the first place. Your praise makes me embarrassed regardless. Maybe I could learn faster seeing someone else do the dance first. Em, what are you talking about? It might be easier to copy your steps if I have someone perform them first. He turns to me suddenly, eyes bright. Would you help me? I am meant to assist Emmeline in any way that I can, but dancing with her brother? Surely a lowly maid should not be doing this. You know, again, I said before I wanted the bad ends, but I mean, come on. You gotta do the dance. Well, if I do accept, at least I can prove that I'm the better dancer than Rod. Besides, I'm supposed to be listening to Emmeline no matter how absurd her requests are. Not the only one that saves her. Yeah, you know, first lesson of visual novels, always save before choices. Yeah, you know. if that is what you want. Really? Emeline rushes up to me and takes my hand in hers. Thank you, Lisette. I thought it might be an awkward request, but I'm so happy you agreed to this. I turn to look at Rod, who is glowering at me. I'm not dancing with her. I might step on my feet. Emeline gives him a disapproving look. Rod, please. Rod eyes me warningly. I step toward him and offer my hand. Shall we? Rod scowls at me for a few moments before finally taking my hand. Dance time, as our faces just looks of pure hatred. I put my hand on his shoulder and he places his hand on the small of my back. Rod looks at me but quickly averts his gaze. Is something wrong? I didn't think I would ever have to dance with you is all. Neither did I. Rod looks at me again. This time he has an uncomfortable scowl on his face. He's not the only uncomfortable one here. We both start dancing and I mentally start counting the steps. It's been a long time since I've danced with anyone, but the steps come to me naturally. The dance is rather simple. While Rod and I move stiffly, I cannot help but notice his careful footwork. I realize that Rod really is a pretty decent dancer. Of course, I would never openly admit that, baka. Tsundere. When we stop, I hear Emeline clapping her hands as she looks at the both of us in awe. You really are a good dancer, clap, clap, clap. Thank you so much for showing me the steps. Now I know for sure what to do during that part. I just shrug her before stepping back into the corner. Am I going with a bad or a good end right now? I don't know. I'm just playing it by ear, really. All I know is that you have to go, well, you don't have to, but it's really recommended that you go through the routes in a certain order, so that's why I'm doing rods first. But otherwise, I'm just just picking as I go. If I get the good end first, then maybe I'll try to get the bad end later, Something like that. I tend to, try to see everything when I play a visual novel, similar to Fate Stay Night. Try to look at all the bad ends. I don't know how the bad ends are, though, in this game. I don't know if they're interesting, but we'll see, I guess. I just shrug at her before stepping back into the corner. Emeline takes her position in front of Rod once more. This time, she has a bright smile on her face. I cannot believe something as simple as that has made her so happy. At the end of the day, Emeline has managed to do the steps correctly. She tells me many times how grateful she is for the help. After practice, I return to my room and retire to bed. I think about how happy Emeline was. How can such small things make a person so happy? Well, it's because it's, it seems small to you, but it's big for her, right? Perspective? Anyway. You step out of rhythm again, Lucette. But mother, this is really hard. A princess never complains. You must perfect this waltz by tomorrow, otherwise I won't allow you to play with your dolls for the day. But if you have time for objections, you have time to push yourself harder. Now, once again from the top. Okay. Again, not very good mother, really. Very strict mother. Very possessive, I guess, is the word. The following days are uneventful. Emeline continues her dance lessons with Rod. Her steps are still far from perfect, but I can tell that she's improved since my demonstration with Rod. Meanwhile, Rod still chooses to ignore me most of the time, though I have noticed that he's less cold than usual. At least he does not snap at me for no good reason anymore. Though Delora is no longer assisting me, she insists on staying in my room more often. She says that there is something important that she wants to investigate, and I cannot even guess what it might be. I prefer not having her around anyway. The constant chattering makes it difficult to focus on anything. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how I can achieve my first good deed. Almost 3 months have passed since I was first cursed, but I have yet to complete my first good deed. These are my thoughts as I head back to my sleeping quarters after dinner that night. Emeline excused me long ago, insisting that I go on to my own room before she went to hers. I'm walking down the hallway when I notice Rod heading down a familiar path. I follow after him. Are you going to the Martian? Rod jumps and turns around. The surprise in his face quickly fades into annoyance. Do that again. And no, not today. Since I came here, I found out that Rod occasionally sneaks out of the palace at night through the secret passageway to go to the Martian. Even now, I'm still confused as to why he goes there. He said before that he had given up on breaking his curse, which makes me wonder why he still visits. It also makes me wonder why he would refuse to break his curse in the first place. Is he okay being the way that he is, or is his curse just really difficult to break? Oh yeah, speaking of his curse, I wonder, like, I mean, again, he can talk through his puppet, or I guess little like magic puppet thing, Sebastian. Like he doesn't sing anymore. I mean, he can still sing through the puppet, but maybe the reason why he doesn't sing is maybe that's part of his curse. You know, the Little Mermaid. It makes sense. Why were you cursed, Rod? I'm not answering that question. Why? I cannot help you break your curse if you refuse to tell me anything. I told you before that I do not need your help. But I chose you as my partner. You help me and I help you. It is highly unlikely that breaking Rod's curse will also, or rather it is highly likely actually that breaking Rod's curse will also count for a good deed. Rod scowls at me and crosses his arms. I'm afraid that this isn't how this works at all. The sound of footsteps keeps me from coming back with a retort. We both turn to see Sir Alcaster approaching us. Prince Rod, good evening. Good evening, Sir Alcaster. Sir Alcaster turns to me and raises an eyebrow. Shouldn't you be attending to Princess Emmeline? Aye. Rod silences me with a look. He moves to stand in front of me, shielding me from Sir Alcaster's gaze. We were just about to go to her. Let's go, Lucette. Rod strides away and I quickly curtsy to Sir Alcaster before following after Rod. Is he always in his full plate armor or something? It's not very comfortable if you're always in armor. Anyway, I can still feel Sir Alcaster's eyes on my back as I walk away. I try my best to suppress the shudder. Rod and I walk through the hallway in silence. We both stop in our tracks when we hear the clattering of silverware. I look around and realize that the sound has come from behind a set of doors that are slightly open. The dining hall. Oh no, that's Emmeline's voice. We do not see Emmeline when we enter the room, but there is a dizzying array of cutlery set out on the table. Emmeline? Emmeline surprises us both by crawling out from beneath the table. Okay. She flashes us an embarrassed smile as she gets to her feet, holding several forks and knives in her hands. What are you doing here? You should be getting ready for bed. Sorry. I eye the silverware on the table. I thought I could practice before sleep today. It has already been an incredibly long day for her and she's still doing this. I watch as Emmeline puts the cutlery back on the table in the wrong places. You need to rest, Em. I will after I practice the placement one last time. You know, yeah, I did take like a workshop class, by the way, of like, proper dinner etiquette. It's also weird to me. I don't go to like fancy restaurants or anything. I never actually need to do the, the whole thing where you put the fork here, you put the spoon here, you gotta put them in order, you're eating like certain, like an order of food, and when you're resting, you put it in this placement, and I don't know, man. I'll just stick to my fast food when I need to eat out. She smiles at him before returning to the table. I don't know why a person would need so much cutlery. One fork, one spoon, and one knife would be more than enough for any meal. No, these glasses, if I remember correctly, this one's for water, this one's for red wine, and this one is like for white wine, right? Red wine or white wine. Ooh, fancy. Well, point out her mistake or give her the correct answers. I mean, either way, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess I'm trying to be nicer, but like, either way, I guess, kind of like criticisms. How would Mother do this? I mean, a good teacher would give her, tell her what's wrong, If we just give her all the answers, then she wouldn't learn, so. Oh, she's gonna remember something so basic. Wrong. What? I point at each of the glasses as I name them in turn. Champagne, cherry, desert wine, and juice. Oh, okay. It is basic etiquette to know all of them. Emmeline looks down at the glasses, flustered. You don't have to be so blunt, Lucette. She's right, though. It's my fault for always forgetting. You know so much about etiquette, too. You're really incredible, Lucette. You make up a better noblewoman than I do. Oh, even if I told her I was a noble, it's not as if she would believe me. I just read a lot about all these things. You read and know enough to put them into practice? It's amazing. Especially since you haven't been with us so long. Right, Rod? Rod shrugs. Ironically, she was with us for a long time, but anyway. He does not, much to my surprise, disagree. Or perhaps you should be my teacher, Lucette. I can learn so quickly from you. Emmeline quickly straightens out the cutlery. Now that I think about it, I have come to realize that Emmeline is much more than she appeared to be. It's probably because I'm forced to spend so much time with her as a maid. She's different, she's flawed, and not as conceited and more humble than I originally thought. Maybe I should try letting her hand. I may not be one of your tutors, but if you need help with your lessons, just ask me and I will do what I can for you. Lucette? I glance at Rod, who is once again wearing the expression of surprise. I shift my attention to Emmeline once again. You only have 1 month left to prepare, and as your personal maid, I feel it my responsibility to help you in whatever ways I can. Lucette! Emmeline wipes her tears with the back of her hand, and that's when I notice something glistening on her cheek. She's crying. You are extremely kind, Lucette. Not until recently, I guess. Oh, thank you. I will definitely take you up on that offer. I'm still looking at Emmeline when I catch a faint glow coming from the pendant on my chest. What just happened? Oh, what a pretty necklace you have, Lucette. Thank you. Anyway, for now, I think the both of us will benefit from some sleep. After escorting Emmeline back to her room, I walk out into the hallway in a daze. What was that light? It seems like you actually managed to obtain your first good deed. I did not know he was still here. I look down my pendant, astonished at what I see. Okay. A piece of the glass slipper. I gingerly touch the nude piece that is hanging next to my existing slipper pendant. It is real. You're not too bad after. You're not too bad. Or, how's it going? You're pretty good. Finger guns, anyway. Did he just compliment me? What? Rod turns away. Nothing. He walks away, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Yep. Chapter 5. Himitsu. Secrets. Good morning, Your Highness. Would you like to play with us? You want to play with me? Yeah, come play with us. We'll have lots of fun. Well, please, just for a little while. Maybe I can. Lucette, what are you doing here in front of the grates? Mother. Good morning, Your Majesty. We were just wondering if the princess wants to come play with us. No. Princess Lucette does not want to play with you. Mother, I do. Enough idle chatter. We must go. It is almost time for your dance lessons. But, Lucette, do not make me repeat myself. Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother. It is still dawn when I wake up. As much as I want to continue sleeping, I have no choice but get up and prepare for the day. Yeah, abusive. It's kind of like, it's always the typical, abusive parent where, they say they love their child, but not really. They just want their child to fulfill, whatever dreams that, they didn't fulfill in their childhood or whatever. So is it always the case? At least, it's kind of a trope, actually. Kind of like the strict parent trope or whatever. As much as I want to continue sleeping, I have no choice to get up and prepare for the day. The last thing I need is an annoying lecture from the head maid. I have almost become accustomed to waking up this early, even if I do not enjoy it. As soon as my preparations are made, I begin to make my way toward Emmeline's room, should she wake early. I am about halfway there when I hear familiar voices. Standing far ahead of me are Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros. Are you sure this is going to work? Have a little faith in me, my friend. Friends? We're not friends. Sir Alcaster narrows his eyes, then turns abruptly to look at me. Ah, Miss Lucette, was it? Sir Mithros, Sir Alcaster. Have you been eavesdropping, child? There's no reason to be angry at me. If they were talking about something confidential, they should not be openly talking in the hallway. I am on my way to Princess Emmeline's room, sir. That's why I'm here. I coolly look at Sir Alcaster, who looks like he's about to pop a vein. I cannot help but feel satisfied as the reaction. In just a few steps, he's suddenly looming over me. I've never seen Sir Alcaster look so angry before. What's going on? Rod is now looking towards us with a scowl on his face. Sir Alcaster notices this and quickly steps back. Oh, there was just a little misunderstanding, Your Highness. Rod glances at me, his eyes narrowing. Great. I'm sure he's going to blame me for this too, even though I did nothing. Much to my surprise, Rod puts himself between me and Sir Alcaster. Are you alright, Lucette? He's worried about me? Nanny. I slowly nod. Rod turns back to Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos. If you do not have any business with Lucette, I will be taking her with me. Emmeline is already waiting for her. Sir Alcaster stares at me for a few moments before bowing down to Rod. Of course, Your Highness. Thank you. Rod turns to me again, his expression solemn. Shall we? He walks off before waiting for my reply. I look back at Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos one last time before chasing after him. The both of us spend the next few minutes walking in silence. Rod has not said a thing since my encounter with Sir Mythos and Sir Alcaster. Are you okay? What? You already asked me before, is he really that worried? You that worried? I'm fine, Baka. I'm surprised with the look on Rod's face at my response. His expression is soft, so unlike his unusual scowl. Rod here is pretty worried about you, Princess. Rod glares at Sebi, his cheeks tinged pink. You know, I guess he stopped hating our guts, I guess. Sebi chuckles, maybe because we're getting closer to his sister, you know? Maybe he's giving the benefit of the doubt now. Sorry, Rod, your thoughts ring so loud in your mind that I can't help but say them out loud. Well, okay. It's the right choice. Well, this is not the first time Sebi has told me about what Rod is thinking. Rod reaches out and pinches Sebi's face, his scowl returning. Wow. Sorry, okay? But next time, try not to think too loudly. You said that Emmeline was waiting for me. I did not expect her to be up so early. Where is she? I lied. What? You lied to help me out of that situation? Why? Why are you helping me? Because while you're here, you are my responsibility. I may loathe the role, but I will still uphold it. Besides, you don't need a reason to help someone in need. Help someone in need. I remember Parfait and Delora telling me before that being good often involves helping others who are in need. Now that I've helped you, I'll be taking my leave now. I have fencing lessons to attend. Rod starts to walk off, but then starts to turn back to me. Don't get yourself into more trouble. I won't be there all the time to save you. I glare at him and cross my arms. I'm not some damsel in distress, Your Highness. I do not need your help, even though you kind of were a damsel in the very beginning. When you were like in rags and people were trying to mug you. Rod snores before turning away from me and walking away. Later that day, I watch Emmeline finish her etiquette lessons. I can tell that the teacher is impressed with her progress. Emmeline is able to correctly name all the glasses and cutlery. Well, she's not so slow a learner. I come here earlier in the day to better teach Emmeline about proper dining etiquette. It turns out that my lesson was valuable. You have shown great improvement, Your Highness. I'm glad that you've been diligent with your studies. No doubt you'll be ready for the ball soon. Emmeline smiles, her cheeks turning pink. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't have done it without the help of a friend. Emmeline glances at me briefly and smiles gently. I really owe her a lot. Excuse me. Putting two tsunderes together? Yeah, I guess, yeah, Rod and Lucette. They are just the tsundere couple, or shipping, I don't know. Well, I don't know if they're gonna end up together. Well, it depends if I get a good end. Let's see, I guess. That is wonderful. I'm so glad you have such a dedicated friend, Your Highness. Friend. Not really what I am to her. But princesses do not have maids as friends. A royal does not mingle with the commoners, especially not with servants. Mother told me that before. Emmeline does not treat me as a maid, but she cannot possibly think of me as a friend. After the teacher gives Emmeline several books to study for the next lesson, she ends the lesson and excuses herself. Emmeline approaches me and grasps my hands. Friendship? What is this? What is this strange magic? Oh, thank you so much, Lucette. I wouldn't have passed without your help. And all I did was repeat the things your teacher taught you. But you're different. I raised an eyebrow at her. Different. I tend to get nervous in my lessons. My teachers are strict and intimidating. I cave beneath the pressure. But with you, well, I feel more comfortable around you. It's probably because we're almost the same age and your lessons feel more casual. So thank you, I'm very grateful to you. She looks down to the ground shyly. I hope it's alright that we're friends. I furrowed my eyebrows at her. Well, why would you even want to be friends with a maid? You're supposed to be making friends with the nobles, not the servants. Emmeline frowns. I can feel her deflate. She walks toward the window and sighs. Well, I tried. They may not say anything, but I can feel them silently judging me. I wasn't born a princess, and I feel that they judge everything that I do. They think that I smile too much, and I'm not regal enough. They feel that I'm too clumsy or too cheerful. Well, Emmeline definitely does not act like a noble. I cannot say that I blame the nobles for being skeptical of her. Being with them suffocates me. I do my best to act like a princess, but the way they all look at me, it's as if they're waiting for me to make a mistake. Then they'll have an excuse to jeer at me. Every girl dreams of becoming a princess, and yet this is not my dream. Yeah, and she was just a commoner, right? So it's not like she was born to be a princess in the first place. I really just miss being a normal girl. I miss my freedom. I look at her, thoughtful. I think I can understand what Emmeline's feeling. Just like me, she was thrown into a world she was not ready to be part of. Right now, we have no choice but to fit in. She never really wanted my title in the first place, yet I accused her of stealing it. Have you told your mother how you feel? Emmeline shakes her head. No, not the king either. I don't want them to think that I'm being ungrateful. That's why I'm trying my best to become accustomed to all of this. I cross my arms. You're not happy. I'm not. Everyone just assumes that I'm happy because I smile a lot. She barely opens up to anyone, and yet she opened up to me. Had I been given a choice before I was cursed, I would have never listened to her. Well, you should tell them how you feel rather than just keep it to yourself, otherwise the stress will continue to accumulate on your shoulders. I wish I could be more honest with them, I really do. I envy you for being able to speak your mind. She envies me. Emmeline takes a deep breath and sighs. The frown fades with the sigh and is quickly replaced with a fragile smile. I'm sorry for ranting to you like that. I must have bored you with my story. I used to get so annoyed with her, but now that I've seen this side of her, I suppose she's not as terrible as I had first thought. You know, it's called Gatmoe, you know, where like a character shows a side of them that's not usually shown to other people. So you sympathize with them more easily and get attached to the character. Anyway. Oh, I remember that mother wanted to see me after my lessons today. Well, allow me to escort to your queen then. Or to the queen, rather. Thank you. Hey, Rod. I assume because it's showing that we are on the Rod route. Days pass without any real conflict. I run into Sir Alcaster again in the hallways, but his eyes pass over me as if I'm something to be ignored. Delora, who had been ignoring me as she'd been busy with other priorities, returned to the Martian yesterday to discuss something important with Parfait. Well, it's not as if she'd been any help since she came here. She mostly stays in my room while I run around doing errands for Emmeline and taking on other chores as they are handed to me. Right now, I'm headed to the palace gates as I hurry to meet Emmeline. She's going out to town to meet Viorica again. I was told to meet her here. Lucette. Oh, hey, Fritz. I turn around to see Fritz walking in my direction. Ever since I told him to refer to me by my name, he's been stumbling over and not using my title. I rarely see him, but when I do, we do not have much time to discuss anything. Well, can I help you with anything, Fritz? Oh, it's been a while. Have you managed to complete one of your good deeds? Well, days after I originally run into Fritz, I managed to have a quick conversation with him regarding my curse. I told him everything, basically. It's been a long time since that conversation happened. Recently, I've barely seen Fritz. I hear rumors that he's been reassigned somewhere outside the palace. I show him my pendant and point out the piece of the second glass slipper. Well, I managed to get one several days ago. Lucette, that's wonderful. I knew you could get one. Only 2 more, then I can break this curse. Ah, Fritz, Miss Lucette. I did not think that the 2 of you were acquainted. We both turn our heads at the same time when Mythros suddenly appears from around the corner, the usual smile on his lips. He's always smiling, I don't know. Sir Mythros. Fritz, I believe Sir Alcaster is looking for you. Oh, right, sorry. Lucette, I must take my leave now. Of course. Fritz bows to Sir Mithras before walking off, leaving me alone with Sir Mithras. I don't know if that's a good idea. Mithras does not say anything, but continues to smile at me. His staring makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. Is there something on my face? Excuse me. I curtsy and starts to walk off when Sir Mithras calls my name. Lucette. Yes? I just wanted to thank you for your hard work and dedication to our princess. I look at him, puzzled by his sudden gratitude. Don't worry. Everything will soon be remedied. I don't like his look. Excuse me. My apologies, I did not mean to keep you. He completely ignores my question. He dips his head slightly before turning and walking away, the smile still on his face. What do I think of the story so far? It's okay. I've heard that it gets more interesting later on, so I'm waiting for that. I feel like we've only scratched the surface, especially since we're only going through one route, you know, at the moment. What was that all about? I do like the main character, obviously. He's, you know, very interesting character. Rod and Emmeline are already waiting for me outside the carriage by the time I arrive at the palace gates. Rod has his arms crossed and looks at me, irritable. His face is perpetually stuck in that scowl, it seems. You're late. My apologies. You're so grumpy, but you've been late many times before too, Rod. Rod just shrugs his shoulders as he turns and heads into the carriage. Emmeline sighs before looking at me. Shall we? Of course. I do like there's a lot of character interaction, you know? I know I read a few visual novels. Some visual novels tend to drag on too long with like exposition and all that. And I feel like this visual novel has a good pace to it, you know, compared to the other types of visual novels I read. So I like that, at the very least. But we'll see how I think of the entire story, I guess, once I finish. Maybe. I don't know if I'll get as engrossed to like do everything, but we'll see. The three of us sit in silence as the carriage rolls toward the town. The knight assigned to guard duty is sitting out in front of the driver, watching for any disturbances. Emmeline glances forlornly out one window while Rod silently looks out the other as he rests his chin on the palm of his hand. I notice Emmeline pausing to glance at Rod every now and then, looking restless. Finally, she breaks the silence. Are you still mad that I asked you to come along to visit Vioreka? I pronounce it different every time. Vioreka, like, you know, Vio as in like Violetta, but like Rika, so Vioreka, I guess. Vioreka. You could have declined the invitation, Rod. And if you would only tell me what happened between the two of you, I would do my best to remedy the situation. Totally not because of unrequited love. I mean, it seems obvious, to me anyway. You know, and we're gonna like swoop in, you know, for the, what do you call it actually? I forget the term for it, but like, you know, when someone breaks up with someone, and then, you know, and then you swoop in for the kill or something, I don't know. Rod notices me looking at him and scowls. He returns his moody gaze to the window. I have nothing to say, Anne. But you used to be good friends with Vioreka too, Rod. But then ever since you were... Emmeline stops herself, but I know that she's referring to his curse. After that day, you kept your distance from her, and when you found out about her wedding, you became even more colder toward her. Yeah, I mean, this is so obvious. Emmeline, can't you tell? I guess not. Even Vioreka is worried about you, Rod. She worries that she might have offended you somehow. Emmeline. There's a hint of a warning in his tone. Is it possible that Vioreka is related to Rod's curse concerning the timing? Okay. Well, thinking about his curse, the Little Mermaid did sacrifice her, you know, her voice to gain legs to, you know, dance with her, like, her love, the prince. So maybe it's like the opposite, you know, like, he sacrificed his voice to like, I don't know, something to do with Vioreka, I guess. Oh, Vioreka, I don't know. Emmeline opens her mouth again to say something, but then suddenly stops and returns to the window, and her expression mirroring Rod's own gloom. We are all silent until we arrive at the toy shop. Emmeline, good to see you again, and you too. Lucette, was it? I nod in acknowledgement. Viorica nods politely at the knight, who stands guard at the shop door. Hey, it's just the two of you today? Emmeline and I both turn around only see that Rod has indeed vanished. Emmeline frowns, looking both bewildered and disappointed. Oh, he was right behind us. Well, I'll go look for him. Thank you, Lisette. Just as I expected, Rod is leaning against the wall of an alley just outside a toy shop. We can talk to him, or we can just, like, stay with him? That's an interesting option. Can we just stay in silence? Sure, why not? Just, like, hang out. I can tell by Rod's stiff posture that anything I say to him will fall on deaf ears, so I move to stand next to him instead. I lean against the wall with him, you know, just like standing, like the cool people, leaning against the wall. What are you doing? Keeping you company? Rod raises an eyebrow at me. Since when have you ever even liked my company? Well, I'd rather be here than stay inside the toy shop and listen to Emmeline and Viorica talk. So you're not here to try to get me to talk? Well, we didn't have an option, but... Well, it's nice if you would answer any of my questions. I've tried forcing you to talk, and I know how ineffective it is. I will be here if you do want to talk. Rod eyes me suspiciously. Since when did you start listening to others? When you are the personal mate of someone who enjoys talking, you learn to listen. Okay. I feel like we're getting more points with him. Alright. Emmeline has been happier these past few months. I hate to admit it, but it seems to be because of you. You actually praising me. Rod looks away, his cheeks tinted pink. Think whatever you like. I do not know why, but for some reason I'm happy that Rod gave me a compliment. You know, maybe because shipping... Princess Lucette. Rod and I turn at the sound of a familiar voice. Walt's pausing in front of us with a bright smile. It's the kid, right? The kid magician, who's probably not really a kid, but like, you know, turned into a kid because of his curse. It's nice to see you again, Princess. Waltz, what are you doing here? Well, I was about to deliver a letter to the prince, but I guess that won't be necessary anymore. A letter? Is Lady Perfect asking for me? Well, not just you. She wants to see the princess as well. Me? Oh, it's been a while since I was last at the Martian. Is something wrong? Oh, they need to discuss something important with the princess. I'll come to Martian tonight. Tonight? But we're already here, so why not now? Walt's eyes shift to our carriage. You're here with Princess Emmeline, yes? You can't make her wait too long. What they need to discuss with you is complicated and will take some time to explain. The toy shop door opens and Emmeline stands in the doorway as she says her goodbyes to Viorica. Remember, tonight. These are Waltz's last words before he slips back into the crowd. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's the, you know, again, it's kind of like the common anime trope where it's kind of like, you know, it's the 5,000-year-old, like, person, but they're in a child's body or whatever. 5,000-year-old vampire. But I guess he's not a vampire. He's probably not 5,000 years old. He's probably just normal adult age, but like, yeah. Open up, FBI! No, Emmeline's visit with Viorica was briefer than I thought it would be. Now all of us are headed back to the palace. Rod has not uttered a word on our way back. I can tell that this is making Emmeline agitated, as she continues to keep glancing at Rod expectantly. If you have something to say, say it. Emmeline stares at me. You obviously want to say something to Prince Rod. The only way to get your answers is to ask him directly. Rod does not turn around. It's as if he does not hear me. Emmeline clasps her hands and sighs. Well... I glance at Rod, who still persistently stares at the window, his eyes focused on nothing. He is pretending not to hear us. How immature. Rod, Viorica was sad that you were there today. It was certain that you stay outside to avoid seeing her. What's going on with you? I am not in the mood to answer your questions, Em. Emmeline grips the edges of her dress, her expression becoming more rigid. You've been keeping secrets from us ever since you were cursed. We don't even know why you were cursed or how to help you break it. Wait, the rest of the family doesn't know anything about the circumstances of Rod's curse? I had thought that he told them everything, but all they know is that he's cursed. We're a family. We're supposed to help each other through problems. Emmeline's hands are shaking as she gazes at her brother. The carriage stops, and as soon as the servant opens the door, Emmeline quickly steps out and rushes toward the palace. Rod watches her go quietly, though his eyebrows are furrowed and he looks guilty. I silently shake my head at him before running after Emmeline. Emmeline stands in the hallway with her hands to her chest. She breathes in slowly in and out, as if she's on the verge of her tears. When she notices me behind her, she turns away and wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm sorry for storming off like that. I was just very frustrated, Rod. I said something I shouldn't have said back there. If anyone finds out about this, they won't. Your secret is safe with me. Emmeline flashes me a grateful smile before looking at the sky. M, rather. Yes, it's Rod. One moment, Rod is running down the hallway. The next, he has stopped in front of us and is trying to catch his breath. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, Rod, but right now I would like to be alone. Of course. I'm sorry, Lutette, but could you leave me alone for now? He does not even wait for my answer before walking away, leaving me alone with Rod. You made her cry, Rod. I'm fully aware of that. Why are you hiding your curse from your family? You wouldn't understand. I'm doing this to protect them. Protect them. Rod silently shakes his head. They wouldn't understand. Those are the last ominous words Rod speaks before rushing off, leaving me alone in the hall. What happened to him? The hallways are silent at this time of night as almost everyone in the palace prepares for bed. I am now on my way to our meeting place. Rod told me earlier to wait for him there. I had thought that he would make me go to the marching by myself after what transpired with Emmeline, but I was wrong. Emmeline was so upset today. I've never seen her like this before. I turn my thoughts back to the Martian and do what Walt said earlier. I wonder what Parfait wants to talk with us about. I feel my heart beating erratically against my chest. Why do I feel like something bad is gonna happen? I don't know. Is everyone just dead? I don't know. I realize I've been standing in the open for a while. Perhaps I should move. People might find my stand here suspicious. I start walking again and am surprised when I feel a hand close around my wrist and pull me into the darkness. I open my mouth when a hand muffles my scream. Oh no! You're getting kidnapped now! No, okay, it's just Rod. Shh. Rod. Rod's gaze is icy. He speaks quietly, but I can feel the anger simmering underneath his words. What if someone saw you just standing there? Have you ever thought about how they might get suspicious? His tone is so accusatory that for a moment I cannot find my voice. But then, he's right. I should have been more careful. Sorry. Rod stares at me surprised. What? I never thought I'd hear you apologize. Especially to me. Oh, well at least I know how to apologize unlike you. And why would I ever have a reason to apologize to you? Because you've done nothing but treat me coldly, even when I have done nothing to personally attack you. Rod scowls at me but does not say anything. Instead he sighs and takes my hand, pulling me after him. Hand holding lewd. What? Well, let's go before the guards see us. I have no energy to argue with Rod, so I allow him to pull me along. I'm sorry. What? He apologized to me. Don't make me repeat myself, Baka. I did not hear you clearly. If there's one thing I know about you is that you're not deaf. Of course I'm not. Just someone will hear you. I glare at Rod, but he does not respond. Princess, your hand is really warm. Rod freezes in place and glares at Seppi, who seems to be shrugging. Hand holding is just all the hand holding. It's just lewd in all of anime. Just the most lewdest thing you could do is hand holding. Your thoughts are too loud, Rod. Through the dim lights, I can actually see a faint blush on Rod's cheeks. You are blushing. I'm not. Not. He lets go of my hand and starts walking toward the secret passage with me trailing behind him. We look around to make sure no one is in sight before we both slip inside. I follow closely behind Rod in silence. My eyes move upward to the little bunny plush hanging on his shoulder. Sebby, I've been wondering, have you ever talked with Rod's family as yourself? Rod suddenly stops and scowls over his shoulder at me. What? I'm asking Sebby, not you. No, I don't, Princess. Rod doesn't want me to talk with others since he thinks that I might say something unnecessary. Much of that, you still speak even when it's unnecessary. In the dim lighting of the tunnel, I think I can see a faint pink in Rod's cheeks, but it's probably a trick of the strange lighting. They always mention that faint pink, when they blush. It's kind of more, I don't know, I feel like it's more reddish, reddish pink. Well, Rod is right. Sebby has blurred out his thoughts more than a number of times. I don't know, I probably, if we get enough points to make it a good ending. Actually, I don't know, what do you say here? I don't know, I'll just be a little, I guess, sarcastic, maybe. You're not doing a very good job. Sebby sighs. How can I not when Rod here is thinking too loudly? That makes my head ache. You get headaches? That's not the point. The point is that when he thinks on something too long, his head becomes cloudy and really full, like it's gonna explode. That's what I got to explain for him. I'm not good at expressing his thoughts, so I... Rod cuts off Sebby off by pinching his cheeks. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Rod sighs and continues walking. Rod, have you spoken of Emmeline since that earlier incident? No. As much as I want to ask him again about his curse, I thought that he wouldn't divulge anything right now. I just decide to keep my thoughts to myself as we head for the Martian. When we arrive at the Martian, Parfait and Delora are there to welcome us. The others, however, are nowhere in sight. It's been a while, Princess. Thank you for bringing her here safely, Prince Rod. Where is everyone? They're all resting in the rooms now. It wasn't necessary that they be here for what Delora and I want to discuss with you. I will be staying in the tavern then. Rod is about to head for the tavern when Delora stops him. Oh, you don't have to leave. What we're going to say involves you too, since we're staying in the palace as well. Or as you're staying in the palace, not us. Cool. Rod looks at her curiously, but asks no questions. Parfait and Delora gesture us over to the settee, where we all take our seats. Well, this is something Rod and I must know because we're in the palace. I have a bad feeling about this. Before we start, I would like to congratulate you on your first good deed, Princess. Laura told me all about it. I can see the extra piece on your necklace as well. Parfait smiles at me, her eyes filled with pride. Her faith in me rekindles the dwindling confidence I had. If only you'd seen how happy Delora was when she announced it to us. You didn't have to go into specifics, Parfait. Oh, are you embarrassed, Delora? She smiles at Delora teasingly before turning back to me. Anyway, I know you can do it, Princess. Only 2 more to go and you can break your curse. Okay. Yeah, keep up the good work, Princess, and you too, Rod. So, what is it that you want to discuss with us? I conducted a little investigation while I was with Lucette in the palace, and I found out something important. I discovered there's a witch in the palace. A witch? Who's the witch? I have my suspicions, but... a witch in the palace. I felt a tinge of magic while I was there. It was faint, but definitely there. I don't remember feeling it before when I was there as your doll, Princess. It seems that the witch is using glamour to hide himself or herself from us. Okay, so the witch can be a him or a her. Usually when you say witch, you think her, but I mean, that's not the case. A glamour is a magic that only very experienced witches can class, which means that the witch we are dealing with is no ordinary witch. They have the potential to be very powerful. But what would a witch be doing in the palace in the first place? This witch could be after the king, but with what? Parfait and Delora glance at each other, looking conflicted. It is Parfait who faces me first, her expression grave. I'm afraid that there's some other possibility we must make you aware of, Princess. And in order for us to explain it, we must give you the truth. Okay, here's the truth. I have my theories, but what is the truth? I don't know yet. The truth. Again, I think I know what she's gonna say, considering our relationship with our mother and everything else, but